your elite sports show on radio.
Dennis Bergkamp met de bal aan. Dennis Bergkamp. Dennis Bergkamp. Dennis Bergkamp. Dennis Bergkamp. Dennis Bergkamp. Frank de Boer speelt de bal naar Dennis Bergkamp. Die neemt de bal feilloos aan. En is niet de bal erin. We spelen nog officieel 20 seconden. Dennis Bergkamp.
Asistencia de Xavi de esta pelota para Messi, 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 encara 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 Messi,
Okay, what an exciting time it is once again to be back in the studios of I-FLIER 103.3 FM, and it is time to talk sports again. It is time to have fun. Good afternoon, Ibadan. Good afternoon, Oyo State. Good afternoon, Nigeria. This is the voice of Pelumi Adeosun, the sports umpire, getting ready to take you across events, making rounds in the world of sport once again. Welcome to the second half of the show, where we get to discuss all of the events making rounds in the world of sport. And this midweek edition of iSports on I-FLIER 103.3 FM, there is a whole lot to talk about, but we have got limited time on the show this afternoon, so we are going to be quick and fast about all of the stories that we'll be dishing out to you on the show this afternoon. Let me inform you that we are live on Facebook. Just go to Facebook and search I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. You get to see us there live and direct. That is where you get to like the video. You can share it as well for your friends and families, and also importantly, you can pass your message across. You can drop your comments concerning all of the stories that we will be dishing out to you on the show this afternoon. Welcome on board once again. Just like I said, there is a whole lot to talk about. We'll talk about roundup of games. Talking about NPFL Match Day 23 games that was concluded yesterday. Shooting Stars were in action against Gombe United. They went away from home and they picked a point on the road. Of course, 23 matches played in the NPFL already. We'll get to talk about roundup of all of those games. Not forgetting the money spinning, lucrative and exciting UEFA Champions League games that went down yesterday as well, where the men are gradually being separated from the boys, and it was all about two men yesterday, or should I say two players, talking about Harry Kane of Bayern Munich and Kylian Mbappe of Paris Saint-Germain. These two guys did the magic for their respective teams because they both got a brace for their teams to secure passage into the next round. Talking about the round of 16 of the UEFA Champions League, the quarterfinals. They have progressed into that particular one there. Games will definitely continue today as well, and we'll be discussing those games as well. But without wasting much of our time, let me bring in my partner this afternoon, Biodun Akpena, Biodun Sports. Good afternoon, Biodun Sports. It's really good to have you join us once again.
Good afternoon, Sport Umpire, and of course, good afternoon to listeners also. It's another time again to talk sports, and Trust Us is going to be very, very educative and of course entertaining, informative also. Trust Us this afternoon. Biodun Akpena, Sports.
Yeah, thank you very much, Biodun Sports. I've just been informed that we have limited time to spend on the show this afternoon, so let's get the show started. Let's start from the game that went down yesterday at the Pantami Stadium. Shooting Stars against Gombe United. The Ole Warriors were brave enough, and they have made it 3 consecutive games without defeat after they forced Gombe United to a 1-1 draw yesterday. Of course, in that particular game, Taye Yusuf scored the very first goal for Gombe United in the 30th minute. And Adi Mohamed, one of the new signings of Benga Ogumbote, one of the new signings of Shooting Stars, equalized in the 77th minute to steal a point from Shooting Stars going into their next game. And right about now, Shooting Stars are now 11th. Let's look at the progress of this team as against their next game against Aqua United at home. Let's just look at the chances of Shooting Stars. Do you think it's still realistic for them in securing a continental slot as far as this season is going for Benga Ogumbote and the boys?
Speaking of their performance yesterday, let me start from that. I think it was a brilliant performance. If you must look at the stature of the team they faced, and of course the quality of the team they faced yesterday, Gombe United, not one of the best teams.
Gombe United are in 19th
in terms of their performance
so far this season.
But you understand that you are now in the second stanza of the season, and all of the team also, they are doing everything possible to make sure they do not go down. For those who want to pick continental tickets, they are doing all they could to make sure they also, pick up points away from home, even at home also. So as such, it was very, very important for Shooting Star yesterday, to get the job done. And if you cannot win, at least get a draw for yourself. And what a way to do that from one of the new signing for them, Adi Mohamed.
Yeah.
I saw the highlight of that goal, and I was really impressed with Shooting Star. I must say, really impressed with what they did in that game. But then I think they could do more going forward into their game against Aqua United, which is going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah, very tough.
That Aqua United won against
Eimba, yeah, 3-1,
and that shows Aqua United also, they are gradually bouncing back. They also want to make sure, of course, if they cannot qualify for the continent, at least they will finish above the relegation battle. I think that will give them some leverage to actually go straight into next season. Of course, shuffle their home and try to put things really right for them. But in terms of continental ticket for Shooting Star, well, I cannot say outrightly right now if they could do that. But with games coming thick and fast right now, I think the earlier the better. Getting into the home game, win the 3 points, and you go away also, do everything possible to at least get a draw. And I think with all of that in play for them, they should be able to at least salvage something for themselves at the end of the season.
Yeah, well spoken from Biodun Sports. But if you look at Shooting Stars' problem very well this season, I think they have had problems with their home games, which is not supposed to be. Maybe, just maybe, that would definitely affect them during the course of the season. Don't forget that they dropped points to Katsina United, they dropped points to Atland down here at the Adamasingba Stadium. And the last two games that they won at home to, they have won by whiskers. Remember, they defeated Bayelsa United. We know all of the controversies that surrounded that. Then they lost to Eimba. Then they defeated Bendel Insurance again, narrowly. And now with Aqua United, a very strong team as well. Forget the fact that they are not doing very well in terms of position. Yeah, they are struggling. But the fact that they got a win in their last game against the Eimba will definitely give them confidence going into this. And with the fact that Shooting Stars are struggling on their home ground. And do you think that would be a sort of motivation for Aqua United in their game this weekend against Shooting Stars?
Absolutely. Because for every team who have come down to Ibadan to face the Shooting Star, they understand that the Shooting Star at home, in their last 3 games, they've not been really impressive, and the fans are not happy with them. Of course, But let me come from this angle. I think the fans also should come to the aid of Shooting Star. We know Shooting Star are not doing well at home, but then we've seen some of the European teams also, when their team are not doing well at home, they came out in March to support them,
show solidarity.
Not not bashing them every now and then. They are not playing well. I think that's on the side of the fans is not good enough.
It's not good enough.
It can be very, very painful when your team is not doing well. But then the fans also need to understand that if you give them the support when they are not playing well, just to continue supporting them. I think the players also will understand that if our fans, could do all of this for us and we are not giving them the desired result, it's going to be very, very painful. So I think for me, Shooting Star also understand that going forward into this weekend game, it's a must win for them. In fact, a very, very convincing win for them to go into that game. And if they fail to do that, it might spell doom for them. But for me, I think it's going to be very, very hard, because we are talking about Aqua United, a brilliant side, even though they are not doing well so far this season. But you look at the team also, they've got a lot of experienced players. They've got fantastic manager also who understand that Shooting Star are not doing well at home presently, and they also want to make sure they counter on that lack of concentration where they are playing at home. And I think it's going to be very, very hard for Shooting Star also to win at home this weekend.
Yeah, and let's look at how things stand right now after match day 23. Lobby Stars are the league leaders with 42 points after 23 matches played, and they are ahead of Plateau United, who sits in second position with 41 points. Plateau United, I think they are a perfect example of slow but steady. A lot of people did not see them coming. I'm talking about another team a lot of people did not see coming. Is Rangers International, a team that is in third at the moment. Remo Stars are in fourth position right about now, but Remo Stars looking like clear favorites to go into fourth position because of their outstanding game that they have got. But my concern, Biodun Sports, is Rivers United. Rivers United are in 13th position right about now. But Rivers United have played 20 games. They have 3 outstanding games. They are in 27. They have 27 points right about now. And outstanding games will seem like an advantage for them. That is the same thing that happened to Eyimba International. At a point in time, they were bottom, but the moment they started playing these outstanding games, you saw them started picking up points and gradually coming up. And this further buttresses our point about saying that if these guys can play their games, there's no need to postpone some of these games. Now, it seems a bit unfair if one team has played 23, another team has played 20 games. Rivers United have the perfect opportunity to analyze the whole log and everything, how it is going. I think it's a bit of advantage for them.
Advantage Rivers United, if you must say. I think this further confirm, our concern earlier in our sport program. But for me, outstanding games doesn't mean you already picked up.
Of course,
you
yes.
have to be on the field of play before you can actually say, okay, this is what you can bring to the table. But for Rivers United, you look at their form recently. For what I saw against the Dream FC, their last game in
the CAF Confederations Cup,
it shows Rivers United are in top form right now. And for anything we want to face them, you have to be very, very serious about them. But all in all, I think we should, look forward to their outstanding game. If they take it one after the other, if they go into games and win those games, then we can actually say, okay, Rivers United are yet to stay in terms of their position on the log. But as far as I'm concerned, if they are yet to play those outstanding games, trust me, other teams also who they want to face in the outstanding games, they will also be preparing. I'm looking forward to see how well they could alter Rivers United also. But for the other teams also, I think it has been a brilliant season so far. You talk about Plateau United, you talk about Remo Star,
you talk about Rangers.
Interestingly for me, Enugu Rangers, that team it's a team to watch out for at the end of the season, and I think they've got something to actually prove to us before the end of the season.
Yes, of course. That is how it looks like on the top of the table, talking about the Nigerian Premier League. We're talking about those at the bottom of the table. The relegation battle is getting fierce and intense with teams like Atland FC, Gombe United, Niger Tornadoes, and Aqua United in the relegation zone right about now. And let's leave Nigerian football right now and go to the African games. The aircraft scheduled to take them to Ghana for the tournament shortly before takeoff at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. The minister assured them that the entire nation was solidly behind them. It further stated that although some of the athletes may be representing the country for the very first time, but the tournament afford them the opportunity to make the nation proud and make their family proud as well. The minister also promised to promptly pay all the allowances that are due to the athletes, stating that no athletes would be shortchanged. The 12th All African Games took place in Rabat, Morocco. That was 2019 edition, and Nigeria came second position, having won 46 gold medals, 33 silver medals, and 48 bronze medals. Nigeria will be looking to best their particular performance in the next African Games that will be starting. Should I say that I've started already? Although the official opening ceremony will come up in 2 days' time, talking about March the 8th. But we saw table tennis that started already, and Team Nigeria have picked up 2 medals. Talking about Eddie Diom Edem picked up a bronze medal in the table tennis category. Haruna Kodri also picked up a silver medal after losing to Omar, the Egyptian, in that particular one. Right about now, Nigeria, they are second on the medal standings. We'll definitely continue to keep you posted as it concerns the African Games holding in Accra, Ghana. Let's switch gears and talk about Nigerian player Akinkunmi Amo. The other sports we're discussing about this man. The news about him is not one that is very, very pleasing because the news we got yesterday was that his club side, Omonia Nicosia in Cyprus, they have terminated Akinkunmi Amo's contract, and this is the second club that will terminate his contract. I don't know. They said it is for personal reasons. I don't think it's down to his performance. Do you think this is still related to all of the controversies that surrounded him when he was with his Danish club, FC Copenhagen?
I think the story from Cyprus, it might not be the kind of story that you definitely want to say this is what really happened. But you have to look at the handwriting on the wall also, and you put one or two things together to figure out what is happening to Akikumi Amo. It's just sad for the young man, because this is a young boy whom a lot of people have been clamoring for to be invited into the Super Eagles of Nigeria team. And I think was it when he was with the Danish team Copenhagen, I saw some of his game and I was really impressed with his game.
Yeah, he's a very talented footballer.
Look at the trajectory of his career right now is going down the drain, and I don't understand what people in charge of his
his management, his agents, and all of that
they are doing to rescue the career of the young man. This is a guy who I want to believe. Of course, it's a fact, because it will be a breadwinner of a particular family.
Of course.
And you shouldn't be looking at the young man to just, waste like that. I think they should fight for this man. They should do everything possible to make sure they save his career. His career is going down the drain. I don't know what club will be coming to sign him right now, because I see him as a fantastic player, and I think he should, be put out there for other clubs to see him, because these are the issue you will see with some of these players. At the end of the day, you see him going to one obscure country to sign a contract just for him to continue playing football. To continue earning something for himself. And I think that is not is very, very, very bad. But in terms of his career also, I think he also need to look back. He need to do one or two things to check himself also.
Exactly.
Very, very
yes, Biodo Sports, we'll still get to talk about that particular. Yeah, very well. Especially at that point you said we'll still get to talk about it extensively. Him checking himself after this break. Let's quickly go for this commercial break. We'll get to talk about Akikumi Amo and him checking himself, because everything seems to be very personal to him. Nobody would help you discuss some of these things. If you don't work on it yourself, nobody would help you work on it. But after this break, we'll still get to talk about Akikumi Amo and his life. What next for Akikumi Amo? We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Omola Travels and Tours Limited. Iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ti ń ṣe tó ti lé lógún ọdún táwọn èèyàn ti ṣoríire lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ lónírúurú ìlú bíi Canada, UK, America, Qatar àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ọmọọlá Travels and Tours Limited ẹ kú oríire. Iṣẹ́ ò dúró bí Ọmọọlá Travels and Tours Limited tó ṣe gba àwọn ọ̀chàrà tó tó visa Canada, America, Australia tó fi dórí ti UK fáwọn èèyàn. Ọ̀rọ̀ pé bóyá tàbí ṣùgbọ́n yóò ṣe ò sí lọ́rọ̀ tiwọn o. Ìwọ ni kó o máa wo rẹ̀ ràn. Ẹ ní san deposit owó kẹ̀kẹ́ tí visa yóò fi jáde. Bóyá study permit, work permit, bó sì jẹ́ visit tourist visa. Ẹ kàn sí wọn ní nọ́mbà 114 Ọmọọlá Plaza, Àbáyọ̀mí bus stop, Ìwó road, Ìbàdàn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ọ́fíìsì wọn wà ní Louisiana, lórílẹ̀‐èdè ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà. Ẹ máa pè 0807-985-1232 tàbí 0811-986-9999. Ọmọọlá Travels and Tours Limited. Try and error sí lọ́rọ̀ tiwọn o. Bàbá ẹ̀.
High Sports, your elite sports show on radio.
Yes, yeah, welcome back. You're still listening to I-Sports on I-FLIER 103.3 FM. Sports Umpire, still on the MIC. Biodo Sports, Biodo Aquin as well. Very well seated here. And to also inform you once again, in case you are just joining us, that we are live on Facebook. Just go to Facebook and search I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. That is where we are on Facebook right there. And we were talking about Akikumi Amo just before we had that break. Biodo Sports, you made a valid point about him checking himself. Do you think this would serve as a lesson for some other players, or should serve as a lesson from other players? I could remember when we were talking about it in the newsroom. I don't think there's anyone who has been involved in something like this and tends to survive it. I don't think it really happens. Even if you survive it, like it would be obvious that your career would definitely be shaken. We saw what happened to Mason Greenwood, Benjamin Mendy, all of these involvements in sexual allegations and all of that. These people don't check it. What do you think is the problem? And for Akikumi Amo, do you think he can still survive all of this? Do you think he can still reinvigorate his footballing career?
Let me start from what has happened to some footballers before who they are still bearing the brunt of what happened to them. We could talk about Etim Esin. Yes, that was the name I was looking for in the newsroom. If you go and check the story of Etim Esin, you definitely see a particular session that talked about sex allegation when he was, I think he was in Belgium. If I'm not mistaken. So you look at what is happening to Akikumi Amo right now. All of this European team, once they read anything negative about you, they want to distance themselves from you because they know if it affects your career, it's going to affect their own image.
It's affecting the image of the club,
everything around them. So in other words, they just want to do away with you, and I think that is where Akikumi Amo himself need to look at himself. He need to check himself. I don't know how he's going to, going forward, I don't know how it's going to affect his career, but like I said before, his management needs to come to his rescue as fast as possible, and of course his family too, because at the end of the day, family is everything. Family is everything. At the end of the day, if the management sees like, okay, it seems things is not working out for this young man again, some of them will just feel like, okay, we need to leave you.
You have
to bear the brunt yourself. But family will always stay by you, and I think that is where the family need to come out for this young man. They need to stay with him. They need to, do everything possible to make sure his career is on the ascendancy again, because this is a young man who has been doing quite well for himself, and you look at his career right now, it's looking like he's going down the drain. I'm not really happy with what is happening to him right now.
Of course, we are not really happy with what is happening to Akikumi Amo. The news about him is that his Cyprus club Omonia Nicosia have terminated his contract. So right about now, Akikumi Amo is still without a club side. Let's leave that one. Let's switch gears and go for it, and let's talk about UEFA Champions League, the games that went down yesterday and the games that are set to go down today. Sports, it was all about Harry Kane yesterday. Let's start from that one, because there is really nothing to talk about in the one involving Kylian Mbappe and Real Sociedad. But let's talk about Bayern Munich. We all clamored for Harry Kane to step up on the bigger occasion, and guess what? He did yesterday in the game against SS Lazio. Because he got a brace, Thomas Muller also got a goal as well. 3-0, 3-1 on aggregate. Big and good victory for Thomas Tuchel and Bayern Munich.
Absolutely big victory for Harry Kane, because I need to say Harry Kane because had it been the loss in the UEFA Champions League yesterday, it's totally out for them.
Hopes of silverware, it's gone.
It's done. So you look at the Bundesliga, Bayer Leverkusen, they are topping, and had it been the loss yesterday, it would have been really bad for the entire Bayern Munich team. But what a way, to show the world that you are still Harry Kane, you can still deliver at the top level in the UEFA Champions League. And I think I was really, elated with what Harry Kane did yesterday. But going forward, they also need to buckle up. That was Lazio yesterday.
Yeah, that was Lazio.
That wasn't Manchester City.
That's not Real Madrid.
So the games are still going to be very, very, very hard for them going forward. But you have to beat what is in front of you.
Absolutely.
Say you are going to beat your next opponent, and I'll be looking forward to see how well Bayern Munich will turn this, great form they showed yesterday against the SS Lazio in the UEFA Champions League.
Yes, of course, it was a 3-0 victory at the Allianz Arena for Bayern Munich. 3-0 they defeated SS Lazio in that one. And in the other game that was played, Paris Saint-Germain at the San Sebastian defeated Real Sociedad 2-1. Both goals by Kylian Mbappe, while Mikel Merino scored in the 89th minute in what seemed like a consolatory goal. But beyond sport, let's talk about the game that is set to go down today. Manchester City against Copenhagen. That looks more like a very straightforward game again. 3-1 advantage for Manchester City going in that one. Do you think any miracle is expected to happen in favor of the Danish champions?
Well, I think if Copenhagen want to go to 10 months and go to 10 churches, I don't know if a miracle
is going to happen.
But trust me, Manchester City, they are done and dusted. Maybe we'll see another 3-0 win since they won on the first leg. So I think it's just a done and dusted for Manchester City. The next game is on the mind of Pep Guardiola right now.
No sport, please. Let's quickly take this call here. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're welcome. Oh, I think we lost that one. Beyond sport, please wrap up your points about Man City.
So, like I said, there's nothing to really, watch out for in that game. For me, I think Manchester City are done and dusted.
Yeah, straight win for Manchester City in that particular one. But the one that is looking a bit dicey is the one involving Real Madrid and RB Leipzig. We'll talk about it after we take this call. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Dayo. Please, let's have your points.
The saddest news I've been reading since this is that of Akunkumi.
Yes.
He's even suffering on psychological effect of the thing that happened in the previous thing. But this is the point. Footballers should be able to figure out that the only problem they're having now is the issue of this sexual stuff. That's the only problem, and that's how they bring them down. They never overcome that, especially those talented players. Very hardworking players, most of the time, favor. But when they are talented and they are not that hardworking, that brings them down. And they will not be able to perform. Take a look at the scenario that happened to Balotelli also. I think Balotelli wasn't hardworking and it was directly sexual assault. It will have known his career. Balotelli that they were trying to talk about, FIFA World Best and all those kind of awards, but he never reached any of those things. So they just try and take on their sexual life. So it's bringing their career down.
Of course. Thank you very much, Dayo from Iworo. That has always been the point. So these players should try and have this self-control, and maybe every other thing would come easily. Beyond sports, we're talking about the game involving Real Madrid and RB Leipzig. The first leg ended 1-0 in favor of Real Madrid, and it's looking like Madrid are looking well placed to go into the next round following that Brahim Diaz solitary goal in the very first leg. And don't you think what happened to Real Madrid in their last game in the La Liga would psychologically affect these guys going into the game against RB Leipzig?
Well, maybe not. We cannot, say, because 90 minutes at the end of the day, is going to do the talking at the Santiago Bernabeu, and I think Madrid, just like you said, they are informed, and you also need to look at the fact that Jude Bellingham is back for them in the first leg.
Yeah, he missed the first leg.
He wasn't in that game, so with the combination of Rodrigo, Vinicius, and Jude Bellingham also, they should be able to get something out of that game. But RB Leipzig also, they are a team who love to score. Anytime they are playing in Madrid side, they just want to play their game. They don't respect Madrid in any way. So I see them as a team that will give Madrid some sort of trouble tonight. But at the end of the day, Madrid will come out triumphant in that game.
Yes, sir. The words of Beyond Sports are saying that Madrid will come out triumphant at the end of the day in that particular one. The game is tonight. RB Leipzig against Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu, and giving you some match factor going into the particular one. Real Madrid have won 2 of their 3 games against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. They have lost just 1, while the only previous meeting between the two sides at the Bernabeu ended 2-0, a win for the home side. Talking about Real Madrid, that was the group stage of the Champions League in 2022-2023 season, and this will be RB Leipzig's 3rd away game against Spanish opposition in European competition. Though they were beaten on their most recent trip 2-0 versus Real Madrid, they did win against Real Sociedad in the UEFA Europa League playoff round in 2021-2022, 3-1 in that particular one. And moving ahead, Real Madrid have only failed to progress from one of their last 22-legged ties in the UEFA Champions League knockout stages after winning the first leg, and with the only instance coming against Ajax in 2018-2019 in the round of 16, where they won away 2-1 in the first leg but lost 4-1 in the second leg of that particular one. Of course, we'll look forward to the games that are set to go down today. Let's leave the UEFA Champions League and let's go straight back into the world of other footballing stories, if time will permit us. I think we have still got about 2 or 3 minutes. Let's talk about Jude Bellingham. Bureau Sports, we saw the news about Jude Bellingham saying that he has been given 2-game ban after what happened in their last game in the Spanish La Liga. But I saw you ranting about the decision to demote the referee to I think he has been demoted to the 3rd division of Spanish football, and saying there is no sanctions other than that for him, and there is no 3 points for Real Madrid against that one.
Because that should have been I didn't we won that game. That was 3 points in the
3 points, a lot of cushion
against Valencia, who under some sort of a brilliant performance since the appointment of Vicente Barraca, their former player. But you look at the referee also, and that is where my concern is. I don't know, once a referee made a mistake, at the end of the day, what the FA, or you ask them to play the game again.
But that doesn't happen in football. I don't think that has ever happened in football.
But unfortunately, we've not been able to see that. But going forward, I think Gil Mazzona or whatever his name is, should do better going forward into some other games also. And I think Madrid will be fine at the end of the day.
Madrid will be fine at the end of the day. Thank you very much, Bureau Sports, for joining us this afternoon. That is the much we can think.
Yes, thank you very much for always listening to us. I remain Abiodun Aquino.
Yes, thank you very, very much. And I earlier informed you that we will be finishing before schedule because of a special program that would be taking place right about now. My name is Pelumi Adeosun, the sports umpire, and I'm wishing you a great rest of the day. Thank you very much.